Hey everybody, it's Tripl-L, and now let's talk the 7 Deadly Sins, chapter 259. Hey guys, alright, so this is just going to be a very quick impression video because I felt the chapter was relatively simple. There's a few cool notes here, but I think it's going to be a shorter video. Anyway, let's just get right into it. So with the chapter, we just go through the first stages of the war, and that's pretty cool. The one thing I do want to point out here is that it is kind of cool, like we're kind of bookending a little bit. We have, for instance, Diane and King. They're both very principled fighters for the last couple of pages in the in the chapter, and because we see they're just really good at taking care of just a lot of people all at once. And of course, there's always going to be that big disparity between regular people and the Sins, but with these two, it was just really cool because their moments served to be kind of like callbacks to, I guess, when this arc first began. And especially with the Albions, you know, they were such a giant threat back when we were just starting this off. Like the Albions just recently got, or I guess the Albions, it wasn't so long ago that the Albions got covered, like for instance in the season 2 opening or in the season 2 episodes for the 7 Deadly Sins. So seeing these two just being able to make short work of an enemy that initially posed a big problem for them is pretty cool. And on Diane's side, we have her using, I believe, Queen's Embrace or Queen Empress, her giant earth tidal wave. That imagery was something that we initially saw way back when Diane began her training, or her dancing training pretty much. So seeing that imagery come back here and being used against demons is pretty cool. On King's side, well, King was already established to be able to take down the Albions in general, but seeing him do it here with such ease, it's just, when you have these events occurring now and you look back at where we started from, you can say, okay, like there has been definite growth for these two, and it's a bit of a bigger deal for these two because these two are the weakest Sins. Well, right now, because Bond's not there, they end up being the weakest Sins, but it's cool to see that they have their purpose. And in this case, it's just wide infantry destruction. They're really good at taking out the majority of the mooks. Really, when you consider the amount of damage that those two by themselves are doing, the 7 Deadly Sins by themselves, you know, to say that they could have gone into this fight by themselves and gotten out alive, yeah, that's not an overestimation. I mean, they're already able to use giant earth tidal waves. Like, yeah, they can do it. It's just one of those funny things. Of course, there's no one that's really notable in that army right now. So if we kept it the way it was with these level of enemies, of course, those guys can probably deal with it. Alright, so moving into another point. Cheat Hope, or Fraudulent Light. Now, I really like the idea of this ability. As we see it in the chapter, it's an ability that seemingly gives the humans a power-up and also lets them take damage. But when you look at what Death Pierce is doing, when you look at the way he's like coming up and he's covered in blood and his arms are broken, he's like reveling in the fact that he doesn't hurt. Like, it becomes pretty obvious what's going on here. Like, the gods haven't really given these people any power. I feel like it's more like the gods maybe unleashed the part of their brain that holds them back, so they're just getting full-on adrenaline rushes all the time, and when they do get hurt, they're actually getting hurt, but they're not feeling it. The Goddess Clan just kind of, you know, they're dulling their senses. So, you know, I do think that maybe there could be some magic reinforcement going into it, but largely it's like, yeah, this is a bit of a cheat. Like, it being called Cheat Hope by Gauther makes sense. So I just think that's funny, and it's another point that just goes along the narrative of saying that the Goddess Clan isn't any better than the Demon Clan, right? Like, they look better on the surface, they're prettier on the surface, but when you look at it, these guys, they're very manipulative in their own way. It's just like they realize that manipulating everyone instead of being against everyone was the better option. So they just kind of like played it in such a way that they got everyone onto their side so that they could do whatever they want. So, you know, every time we see things like this is just further progressing that particular narrative. Like, the Goddess Clan and Demon Clan, right now the Demon Clan has like way more Sins on their side of the events that they've caused, just because of the way that we've seen things kind of just spin out. But because the Goddess clan are more likely to be doing things in the background. Like, they might be equally as guilty as whatever the demons have done. Like, I will continue this till the day that the 7 deadly sins ends. Both sides are in the wrong when it comes to those particular clans, and I'm personally very happy that the Goddess clan is not here in full numbers, because otherwise that would just be a shit show. The last portion of the chapter, though, is really the setup for Derriere, Mons Piet, and Estarossa, and also the setup that Estarossa is probably gonna rebel, because he's now going in, like, he wants more commandments, and we already saw what he did to Galen. So this is interesting because I'm personally invested in Mons Piet and Derriere just because I like seeing the two of them together, and I would rather they have a happy life away from combat than them getting killed by Estarossa. So this next little bit, depending on how evil Estarossa is going to be, I'm pretty scared. And especially if the two give up their commandments, like, they are pretty much, they're weak, right? Like, Estarossa is going to annihilate them unless they manage to pull something. And man, if we get away from this with one of the pair dying, I think that's going to be much worse than both of them dying. I'd rather they both die if it's coming down to that. But yeah, I want both of them to survive. And this is just one of those things. I really like the characters, and you know, when you look at what the story's done for them so far, like, Meliodas let them live, right? Like, he gave them the shot at life. He could have killed them, but he didn't. Like, he made it seem like he did, but you know, they got their survival. I kind of want them to keep their survival. Like, just leave their commandments on the bed. I don't know, if they can detect that Estarossa was there, I would just be like, yeah, just leave it on the bed and just go hide in a basement and be done with it. I think that would be the best way to solve this whole problem. But Estarossa coming in there. On a technical note, before Estarossa was showed for the chapter, the two archangels mentioned that they want to get revenge for Mael and they want to take out Estarossa. So that was a pretty cool little segue there on a technical note for the chapter. But anyway, those are my thoughts. That's the 7 deadly sins. Cool things happening, but right now I'm just really scared for the pair that's in Estarossa's crosshairs, and I really hope they live. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna end it there. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I hope you have a great day. Yeah, I hope you have a great day.